Welcome to the Home Services Home Show, where you learn a lot that you need to know.
And a whole lot you don't.
That's for sure. Hey, it's been a hot minute.
You've been on vacation a lot.
Stop it. Sound like my boss. People just come in the room like, I heard you're going to be gone again next week. It's a work trip. Yeah, notice we got a little bit different setting here. Came out of necessity.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, I like to call it, it's purely because of the popularity of our podcast. Worldwide. But no, we really did have really good reception from the podcast. People really, really did like it for some reason. And we were getting messages from people all over the country. From LA, from West Coast to East Coast, to Florida. Anyways, pretty cool. But we got so busy that we had to turn our podcast studio into call center.
Correct.
So now
got three call center people back there?
Yeah. So it was a cool space, and we weren't doing anything with it at the time. So we remodeled, turned it into podcast. It was awesome. And then there's been so much growth.
Right. Yeah. It's truly been a really good year.
Yeah. And this is weird because before we sat behind tables,
right?
And now I actually have to wear pants while I do the podcast, which what's up with that?
We have to take the weird, Larson.
I gotta worry about
now your socks got to match and your shoes got to match.
Yeah, dang. All right.
My wife's gonna be mad at me at some point because I probably didn't do something right with my belt or pants or socks or something.
I didn't. Yeah,
it's all right.
It's all good.
We're used to it.
But yeah, no, the podcast. It's good to be back on.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back on it. And today we want to cover something really important. Basically, money.
Right.
Money that the government's giving out.
Is that weird?
Hey,
all right, we'll keep it right on the middle. Fairway. We got it.
Let's tote the line here.
Fairway.
Tote the line.
Got it.
Let's tote the line.
Sorry.
We want to talk about rebates for energy efficiency for in your homes, and there's a couple different programs out there. We've got the Focus on Energy program that we've always had, and now there's a new one out called the Homes IRA program.
Yeah. So let's start that. So this is a big topic, and we're going to do like 3 or 4, maybe 5 segments after this to kind of really break this down because people are asking a lot of questions about it, right? So back in 2022,
10,000 foot overview today.
We're going to go high level and just kind of tease everybody like what's out there, and then that way they can look at us as a resource, as the experts of, hey, these guys know what they're talking about. They're going to facilitate this, and it's going to be it's a good program, but it's not, as with everything in life, there's always strings attached, right?
As much as we don't want to deal with government run
tape
programs because they make it so much complicated,
right?
We also don't want our customers to miss out on possible savings and money for their home. And that's really why we're doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So back in 2022, there's the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA. So think about this, 2022, just now in October, we're
basically 2025.
Yeah, almost 2025. We're just starting to get Wisconsin was the first state selected to roll this program out where we got $150, $160 million into Wisconsin to facilitate energy improvements to homes and rebates for customers, right? So
wait, almost 3 years?
Almost 3 years.
Have they given any of it out yet?
No, not a project hasn't been completed yet.
So it's only taken like 3.
It's better than 5.
Well, it was in August, right?
It was in August.
Okay, so we'll give them a little credit.
Yeah, so let's say
it's going to be about 2.5 years before they give any money out.
Sure.
Not bad.
Right. So it's kind of neat that Wisconsin's Focus on Energy was selected to be like the facilitator to get this money to the people of Wisconsin. So they got $150 to $160 million to give for energy improvements to homes. Now that can be, we'll dig into this. It can be insulation, it can be heating and cooling, it can be water heaters, it can be heat pumps, that kind of thing. So it's a big range, but they're trying to incentivize people to make their houses more energy efficient.
Yep.
So with that being said, Focus on Energy is a facilitator, and they're using contractors. They have a primary contractor and a secondary contractor to facilitate these improvements to people's houses. And when they do things the right way and they follow the rules and we do all the paperwork and all that kind of stuff, people can be available for rebates. Now there's 3 levels, right? There's low income, median income, and high income. And the rebate is based on where do you fall inside of that realm. And they actually did something I think was kind of neat, is they based off the median income of the county, right? So so Dane County will, let's say, be different than, let's say, Crawford County or Adams County. Like it's different, right? Mm-hmm. So where you fall in your own county determines on kind of what rebate you're going to qualify for. So, so with that being said, there's some thought that went into it, and the folks at Focus did a decent job of being thoughtful of how do we get this to the people. So, with that being said, the best, if you're in the low income bracket, less than 80% of the median income of the county, right? You're going to be available for up to $5,000.
Well, and also if you don't know where you fall, you want to call you, and you're interested in doing some of this stuff, we can help you with it. There's a website that you go on and you put your financial information into, and it's going to tell you right where you land.
It's right on the Focus website.
So you're gonna, which makes it easier for you, and it makes it easier for us to help you get a more accurate basis of the rebate that you could potentially get.
Yep. So the rebates are going to range from anywhere from $5,000 down to $1,500, depending on what income you fall into. Right. And in another segment, we'll really break down like how do those fall in, where do they come from, that kind of thing. But most people are going to probably fall in the middle, 2,000 ish, right? But there's some things that go into that, but we'll talk about later. But so there's rebates based on your income, and then there's a couple different programs they're laying out. The HOMES program, right, which is the Home Efficiency Rebate Program. That's the first one.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's not much of an acronym. The second
does not work. The acronym does not work at all.
I went to New London, and HERP isn't home the way I learned back in school.
It's
right?
the government.
We'll let it go. Right. I love my school teachers in London, but that's different. The other program that's out there is called the HERE program, right? And that's a home Electrification Appliance Rebate.
That one works.
That works. That's
a good acronym.
Pass that one.
Yeah.
Right? So,
all right.
But that one hasn't come out yet, right? So the HOMES program is the one they rolled out first. They rolled it out August, September.
What?
Focus rolled out the HOMES program August, September-ish. Yes. There's not really been a program that's been completed, a home that's been completed yet. Right. So it's been a slow rollout. It's a slow rollout, but the contractors like us are finally starting to get the information. How do we help people? How do we get them qualified? Like what's all the stuff got to go through?
It kind of started like advertising for it before anybody even knew how to get it.
Right. Makes sense.
But I feel like we've actually done a pretty good job of like trying to get on the forefront of it.
I think that's kind of where our companies have been built, right? Mm-hmm. Be on the leading edge, keep the customer focused first.
Yeah. Right.
And I think there's some people are going to kind of just follow along with it, and then there's going to be the leaders. Yeah. And I think that's just a place for us in our businesses.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're trying to do, just because, again, we don't want people to miss out on any money.
Well, and
we just want them to at least be educated on
correct
what's really available.
And
most people aren't going to get $5,000.
Very few people.
Very few.
Right. And the other part is I don't want people to get taken advantage of. Like I think if there's a part of the series that we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, that if anything, people can be educated and come to us as a resource, not to get taken advantage of, not to have false promises, false claims. Like let's cut through the BS and what's real, and then people can decide if it's right for them. Because at the end of the day, anytime you're getting free money, there's always strings attached.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there's obviously qualifications that are besides the income.
Right.
It's not an auto.
Hey, here's free money.
It's not an auto. You're high income, you get $1,500.
No,
not
a chance.
There's more to it.
Yep. So Folks Energy is rolling 2 programs out: HOMES, which has already started, and then the HERE program, which will be coming here hopefully in November. Which is neat for Wisconsin people because we get a chance to combine energy efficiency and appliances, furnaces, air conditioners, water heaters, that kind of thing, and also insulation. Mm-hmm. Right. So when you pair those two together, it's going to be a good combination for making homes more efficient, and that makes all the sense in the world.
And the other great thing is we can stack rebates.
Right.
So if we can stack HOMES rebate and a Focus rebate, or we can stack HERE's
and a
Focus. We can't do all of them, but we can stack. So again, we're just trying to maximize the dollars that homeowners can get for free as a really good down payment or help on paying for something for home efficiency.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for people to understand is that this isn't going to be a get all the work done for free.
No.
Right? I mean, this is an investment in your house. Like this is I call this like a down payment or like an assistance to getting your project done, because very rarely is the money you're going to get from the program going to be enough to cover the project.
I mean, it is possible on a small home
if
it's low income.
Maybe.
It's possible,
right. But
to
not
get
probable.
The vast majority of it paid for. Not probable.
Right.
This is just what we want people to understand.
Right.
If the job is getting done right, most of the time, in a good removal, air seal, and re-insulate job is more than
More than
$5,000,
rebate.
even if you qualified for the entire rebate.
Correct. So I think that's important, and we'll talk about what our procedure for Larson Keeney is going to be. But I think it's important to understand that if people call us like, hey, if I'm going to have to spend any money out of pocket, I'm not interested. Well, that's not going to happen. Like you're going to have to make an investment in your house. But this isn't just a free bag of money. It's let's do some better things to your house, make your house more energy efficient, make it more comfortable, make it all more efficient, all that kind of thing. But you got to have some skin in the game too.
Mhm.
So and we'll really dive into that. But so what happens is you find out what you qualify for. This whole premise of the system is based off modeled savings.
Mhm.
So, we look at we have to have auditors that come out, and it's going to take probably a couple hours, maybe 4 hours from the time they have to go through and they have to look at your appliances, your light bulbs, your windows, your all your furnace and water heater, your insulation in your attic, in your walls, and they're actually going to model your house of how it performs now.
Mhm.
And if you make changes
A, B, C, and D,
Correct.
what's that going to do?
correct, do we get to a 20% modeled savings?
So that's the number.
That's number 20%.
That's a number to remember. 20% energy saving.
Modeled savings.
Modeled savings. So if we come in, we have our auditor come in, and they model your whole home, and we say, this is what we're going to do. Is it going to achieve a 20% savings? If it does,
Right.
then
Then you get the
you
rebate.
can qualify for the home's rebate.
Correct. If it falls
Regardless, you'll qualify for Focus.
short, if you're natural gas or electric
If you're natural gas or electric, if you're out in the country, you're on propane
or fuel oil.
or fuel oil or wood, that doesn't qualify for any of it. And the reason is because for Focus, it's actual power companies, the companies that generate this power. They're the ones that are giving the money for
And
the rebate.
it's on your bill, right? You pay a bill for Focus.
It's right on it.
Every month. So what happens if you have a modeled savings of 20%, you're going to qualify for the homes program. Now, if you don't, you might have to add some. If you just look at insulation, say, hey, my house is drafty, the floors are cold.
Yep.
Most times we've seen in the past, most insulation jobs model between 15 and 18, maybe 19%. So they're kind of right on the border. If your house is really bad,
Every once in a while, we get some that come
100%.
over 21, 22, depending on how bad the insulation
how bad it is. But a lot of times they're kind of right on the line, right? So sometimes you might have to add a more energy efficient water heater or maybe an air conditioner. So you're going to make some investments in your house and in order to get that rebate.
And if you were something you were thinking about possibly doing, then
It makes all sense.
it's a great time to do it.
100%.
But one of the slight problems that I have with it is that a lot of people, in fact, most people, would end up having to do more
More work.
than they initially wanted to do just to get that rebate.
Correct.
Which
So
is what it is.
the nice thing with the HERE program that's coming out in November is that's going to give you the opportunity
Maybe.
to be maybe October,
Maybe
November,
Maybe November.
maybe November, but by the end of the year, hopefully for sure.
Hopefully by the end of the year.
But that's going to be a prescriptive opportunity where insulation is going to be a flat fee,
Yes.
right? They're talking somewhere between maybe $1,500 to $1,700.
Still require an audit.
It wouldn't require whole modeling.
No hot, but blower door. Basically, we're going to
Pre-blower door.
We need to see how leaky the home is.
Pre-blower door, post-blower door, and then combustion safety, making sure all your appliances are safe, which it's a responsible thing to do anyway,
Yes.
right? So if you heard about the homes program and you get the audit done and you don't qualify for it, don't be dismayed, right? The HERE program's coming. Like we might be able to take some of that money from there and use it. So you can either use the homes or the HERE. You can't use both of them. You can't combine them. So there's options.
Yep. You can combine homes and Focus and HERE's and Focus.
Correct. But they can't combine homes and HERE.
Still be a nice little chunk of change.
Yeah, it can be a couple $1,000s. You look at $1,200, $1,500 from Focus and another $1,500 from HERE. I mean, that's $3,000. It's a good start.
It's a really good start.
But there is misconception out there that you can get $5,000. Everybody gets $5,000.
Yeah.
That's
There
not
is a little investment in just the fact that that audit is not free,
for sure.
right? We've got auditors that work
Highly trained.
highly trained. This is a lot of education they've had to go through, a lot of testing they've had to pass. And we have auditors, some in-house, some out-of-house that really work with us specifically. But yeah, that's an investment in itself. So it's not, because it's a lot of time.
It is a lot of time.
Like you just said, we figure this homes one is going to probably take 3 to 5 hours per home
For home time, they're done.
to do it all.
Yeah, they'll only be in the house for probably an hour, but then they
Yeah.
got a couple hours just modeling the house.
Yeah.
Like think about having to put light bulbs and water faucets and appliances, getting appliance numbers, getting all your electrical bills, your all that stuff there, the wall insulation, the window R value or U value, the attic stuff, like all the things that go into your house, they have to model how efficient is that house today, and if you do this work, how efficient it's going to be then, and then they can determine if you qualify for rebates. So
Hmm.
it's going to be it's certainly not easy.
No.
But again, in my mind, I'm kind of torn in this thing, right? Because if there's free money, I like the fact that there's like checks and balances. Like people have to do the right work
Yes.
and they have to do the process.
Yes.
I don't like if it's a free for all.
Because they will be checking the work,
They will be checking the
spot checking,
correct,
which is good.
and we we're talking to the folks at Focus. Jason, the director. They're really being selective because now everyone wants to be an installation contractor, right? Because there's free money out there,
Mm.
and they said they're being very selective on who they allow to be installation contractors that are a Focus approved installation contractor,
Mhm.
because there are going to be people that are going to try to come in and take advantage of
Well, yeah.
the opportunity.
Yes.
So from that perspective, I like the fact that Focus is saying, hey, if they've been a long time Focus contractor, like you and I have been, you're going to be safe for that contractor.
Mhm.
If someone comes in and they're a brand new contractor because they want to take advantage of the free money, you should be a little suspicious. But
Mhm.
so I like that Focus is putting some guardrails in place to keep the customer safe. I think it's awesome.
And that also comes down to the homeowners themselves really looking into those companies.
100%.
Because I can tell you right now that they can try to be selective, but there's a lot of money that they have to give out.
I think they got to give away $150 million in the next 5 years
That's a lot of money to give away.
at
And
3,000 at 3,000 or
and-
2,000 a pop.
And if anybody knows about the government, and we'll just take like taxes and the IRS, like nothing is easy.
or fast.
So there's a lot of companies that are like, I don't even want to deal with it. It's a total pain. And then there's going to be other companies coming in. Okay, we can just figure this out,
Yes,
and
we do.
then we can go blow some insulation in people's homes. And
Wreck
blah,
people's
blah, blah,
houses.
blah. So, but I have a feeling that as this goes on, they're going to allow more and more and more to come in, just because
They're going to have to.
they have to give this money away.
Now, the cool thing is Wisconsin was chosen as the first state as come like a pilot to do this, right? So there's more money.
Oh, I thought they came here because of us.
Well, they should.
Oh, that's what I
I mean, you
thought.
see these signs? They should.
Yeah.
Let me look at these.
That's what I figured.
They're badass, right? But no. So Wisconsin's kind of in the spotlight here to see how it goes. It's not a perfect science. It's never going to be the first time, but we'll get through it. Now we made a lot of investments and time. I mean, how many meetings we've had, staff time, just trying to wrap our head around this.
Too many, and I still don't understand it.
So the thing is from a staff time to create an experience that people can utilize the money, but also have a good customer experience, which is really what we're all about.
Yeah.
It takes time and preparation. Like
Yes.
to be willy nilly and hey, I want to be an installation contractor. There are going to be people that get taken advantage of throughout this process. It just is what it is, but not by us. It's going to be thought out. It's going to be prescriptive. It's going to be it's going to do the right way.
100%.
So those are kind of the outlines of like the money that's out there, right? From 5,000 low income to 1,500 if you're high income, and then the middle income kind of falls in the middle. But let's talk about our process, and then we'll wrap this segment up with what is our process going to be at Larson Keeney and what to expect, and then the next ones we'll dig into what really happens when an auditor comes to a house. Like we'll have some examples and pictures and that kind of stuff, and then we'll really dig into some of the details.
Maybe we could have an auditor on.
That'd be awesome.
You know any?
Doug's been doing this a long time.
I know a couple.
Doug's been doing this probably not quite as long as I've been alive, but he's been doing it a long time. So let's talk about our process. So from the time a call comes in, I think that's important. That we've actually identified an IRA specialist that we're going to have in our call center. That if people have questions and they think they want to be in this program,
Yep.
that they're going to be able to talk to. That says, hey, this is what the program is, what the program's not, and they can answer questions specific to that customer.
Yes.
And I think that's an investment on our side, but I think it's worth it because I don't want people being confused, and I don't want people being disappointed either.
Right. We don't want people to think that they're going to get a bunch of money that they're not going to.
Correct.
And we want them to know that up front.
Because there's an investment for a homeowner up front. Like if we want to come on and get this process started, the auditor to come on and do the
We can say
testing,
how much it is.
yeah,
I mean,
$750.
$750. Like that's what an auditor charges for their time to
Right.
come out and do a whole home model,
Right.
energy model of that home. Like it is an
It's
investment.
an investment, right? So you're going to spend $750, and then what's going to happen is then you're going to determine if you fall in the rebate. Are you going to fall in the homes? You're going to fall into here's like where you're going to fall into what's best for you, right? And then we're going to have our reps come out and actually dig into how are we going to fix the house? What strategically are we going to fix? How are we going to fix it? What products? and really let you touch it and feel it of how we're going to fix your house. 'Cause that's important, right? At the end of the day, people need to understand that they're making an investment in their house because the rebate's not going to cover it all. So you're making an investment. What are you going to get from an insulation company? So you call in and talk to our IRA specialist, right? And then you're going to, if the auditor comes out, they want to do the testing, which is awesome. They're going to be there for probably an hour. They got a lot of modeling back at their office to do. And then at that point, we'll schedule another appointment for our in-field estimators to go out there and actually walk you through the process of fixing your house, right? And then when someone says, hey, I trust you, I want you to fix my house the right way, we'll have our production team come out, and that's kind of where, where the magic happens, right? I mean, those guys that these guys that fix attics, in my mind, they're God's gift.
You ever crawled around your attic?
It's miserable.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Nothing
It's hot. It's cold. It's dusty. It's dirty. It's
bats,
nasty.
raccoons.
And these guys and gals work in this every day.
And they do amazing work.
Day out. And most of them do it with a smile on their face. Maybe not every day.
Not all the time.
Not all the time.
But it's truly work that changes people's lives.
It does.
And
it's also work that has to be done right.
100%.
Because, and ask me how I know this, like, we've made mistakes.
Yep.
And we have screwed things up before. And if you don't know the science on how a home works, you can really make things bad. You can ventilation problems, moisture problems, you can cause mold. We've done it all.
Right.
We've went back and fixed it all, but understand that if somebody's coming over to talk about insulation and air sealing and they don't talk about why do you do
how they're going to do it,
how your home works, how your home breathes, that's scary.
Yes, because I use an analogy in insulation. If it's not 100% right, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like it can't be mostly right or kind of right because the adverse effects can be severely detrimental to your house.
One of the biggest things that we've learned, and we've kind of changed the way we do things, but we used to try to do air sealing without removing insulation.
Right.
And we've really tried to get away from that.
Correct.
It's very difficult to do. And we've went up a lot against a lot of other contractors, not against, but gotten quotes where they're significantly less. And the big difference is the removal. Removing insulation is also a big, dirty job. We have a great process for it, but it's kind of like doing a roof.
Right.
We don't do a roof over. We're not going to put shingles over old shingles because then the important stuff doesn't get done right.
The things that matter the most.
Don't remove. We cannot air seal properly. We can't do a good job. And it can lead to big problems.
For sure.
And we've created some big problems by trying to save a homeowner a couple bucks.
Right.
We've tried.
We just don't do it that way anymore.
We just can't do it that way anymore. So as a homeowner, understand that the air sealing and insulating is so important, but it is so important to start with a clean slate so you can really see what you're working with and not miss anything.
Yep. So after the production comes in, they do an amazing job and they blow you away with how they take care of your home. Then on the back end, the auditors have to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do a post test. They got to check combustion safety
and make sure that we did what we were supposed to do.
Make sure we did what we were supposed to do. Yep. And then also make sure that all your appliances are safe, from your furnace and your water heater, because the last thing you want to do is create an environment where you change the thermodynamics in a home and you can have adverse reaction to your appliances. So part of the process of the audit come back the second time, and then all the rebates kind of filter through, and then 4 to 6 weeks, the homeowner will get the rebate, and it works out all right. So that's kind of a high level overview of the process. And I think, as the weeks go by and we dig into more of these segments of really breaking these things down.
Yeah. We'll honestly, we'll get in there and we can go over like our areas closest county. We can break down the income and stuff just so people understand what's a median income in this county, in this county, in this county. We can get real detailed.
We'll break.
We want to make it easy.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, if people can be informed and educated, they're going to have a good experience.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of misconception out there. There's a lot of chatter that's starting about with this thing.
Because we're getting the calls. People are calling and asking about it.
But people don't really have a resource to use. And if we can use this podcast as kind of a platform to at least give them to be somewhat educated, be better for the customer.
We're saving you from reading government websites.
It's not fun. Reading was not my forte in high school and college.
Government websites, it's like reading tax code.
Yeah.
I mean, enough said. This was brought out 2 years ago,
Correct.
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago.
Just starting to be able to give money out.
Right.
So
Not bad. Better
Yeah.
than 10 years.
So,
So anyway.
next show we dive in deeper.
Next time we're going to really dive. I think next time we really dive into the actual numbers and the rebates.
Yeah.
Like you said, let's talk about some counties. Let's talk about, between Madison here and up in the Fox Valley and then Milwaukee, like the areas we serve, northern Wisconsin, the areas we serve the most, western Wisconsin. Let's dive into what those things look like. How we'll show examples of the website. We have some. Prusha Shane can have some pictures of the website. Where do you click on? How do you click through some of those things? What does that look like and feel like? And then you'll know what to expect.
Yep.
So I think this is probably one of 4 or 5, maybe 6 segments that we're going to talk to about IRA, homes, HERE program, and then I think we'll talk about more about the process of the approval of applying. Then maybe the next one will be more like with Doug and what was the inspection, what does the audit look like, what to expect during that, and then we can have some production people in here talk about how we fix houses, and then we'll wrap it up. So
I'm just hoping on the next one we can talk about some big Badger and Packer wins too. Like we don't want to talk about insulation.
Insulation's fun, but it's not that fun. It's not sexy.
It's not fun. It's not that sexy like Badgers beating Penn State. That would be fun.
You did call that today.
I did.
And I think you're crazy, but I'd love to see it.
It's at home under the lights, baby.
Camp Randall.
Badgers are playing well. So while we get off topic really quick.
Did you just call a squirrel?
That was a squirrel.
So, guys, if you have questions that you want us to address in the next level of podcast, reach out to the websites, Larson Home Services, KeeneyHomeServices.com, and we can certainly answer any of those questions. I think it'd be important to do that. Again, the KeeneyHomeServices.com, LarsonHomeServices.com, LarsonKeeneyHomeServices.com down the Milwaukee market. Shoot us your questions, and we'll answer them the best we can. And this will be really more fun if it's more interactive.
Yeah. Check out the website, give us questions, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, guys.